top right, our red Terran player. They call him the King of Marines. He is
MarineKing Prime.
Who calls him the King of Marines? Well,
I don't know. It was a self-proclaimed title. His opponent down here at the bottom left, formerly of the Team Xenex and then of the Team Slayers, now under the Liquid flag, he is
Liquid TaeJa.
Could have gone a lot of different ways with that intro. I just decided to give a team history.
yeah, you know, that's fine, and that's a big reason why he's becoming so popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, of course, he's done really well in the Korean Weeklies. It's a tournament I do love to watch. But joining Team Liquid itself, that's one of the most famous teams in the whole world.
It definitely is. It's a prestigious team. Not just anyone gets on that team.
Oh, that's the best way to put it, I think. I mean, players like Hero and Rhett and Sheth and Tyler and TLO. Are you kidding me, man? Yeah. What a sick baller
The team is not even necessarily about results. It's about the value of the players.
Ooh.
That's how I would put it about being on Team Liquid. It's about the value in those players because, you know, even a player who hasn't shown as much results recently like Noni, he's back in the scene, and he's definitely like this big figure. He's smart, and someone like TaeJa is a great Korean player to have in the roster. Someone like Hero as well. I like how Liquid kind of handpicks these players, and again, I stress it's about the value of these players.
You're completely right. All right, so what builds are we going to be seeing here, Wolf?
That is the question. A little bit of a faster orbital from TaeJa, from TaeJa, and MarineKing, he didn't go for gas first, so it's a variation on whether or not they built that last SCV. Because the barracks timing changed, sometimes that throws me off still every time I see that.
Yeah. No, I actually like the slightly later orbital. I like having that extra SCV, to be perfectly honest. I am not a fan of mules. If I was a Terran player, I think I'd use less mules than anyone else in the world.
Why is that?
Because I like scans and I like supply drops.
All right.
I saw some math someone did about supply drops and how bringing the SCV away from the patch, the build time of the depot, and the depot, just basically, if you supply drop on a depot, it's not that much different from a mule as far as cost is. The mule is better for minerals gathered, but you have to take in, because you don't spend that 100 as well, you have to take into consideration that mules kill your patches. Well, all this does is save you money long term. So if we're looking at a super long game where you've dropped 50 mules and your opponent hasn't, that's a lot of minerals that you have. It's kind of interesting.
It could have been 50 depots. It's a lot of minerals. It's 5,000 minerals, in fact.
Isn't that? That's a lot of minerals right there.
Look at TaeJa putting some pressure on MarineKing here, who has gone for that really fast command center, and he's actually going to delay this. This makes such a big difference, and both players have gone for identical expansion timings. To delay your opponent even a little bit is actually so huge.
Yeah, I really, really, really like that. And don't forget, it doesn't just delay the command center, but that command center counts as a depot.
That's true.
I mean, that was his next depot. People don't just build an extra depot and a command center at the same time. So that is something that can potentially supply block someone as well, which is very annoying. This time, it turned out not to, but it could have.
Very true. Now, MarineKing, check for me to see what he's seen with his scouting information. Yeah, he hasn't seen anything. That's exactly why this style, a lot of Terrans are doing this where they don't scout and they get the double gases because the double gas is safer against Banshee play, for example. But he's playing this a little bit risky because TaeJa's gone for a fast third command center. He's going to scan here, but he doesn't see everything, and he's not going to see that command center. He may be able to predict that based on what he's seen with those barracks and the timing of...
Yeah, I would say scanning what he sees there with double gas, 3 racks, no add-ons yet, he has to say, okay, you have a command center for sure. But, you know, this is actually an interesting trend in MarineKing's play. At this MLG this past weekend, he didn't actually scout as much as I think I would have liked to see him do. His builds were so tight, so refined. He knows them down to the SCV and the mineral. But, you know, sometimes there's no substitute for just scouting and figuring out what's going on a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and just... playing in the dark is not something I'm a fan of either, but he does scan. Now he knows what's up. He's actually going to move out with these Marines, put a little bit of pressure on TaeJa, knowing that, wait a minute, those barracks are powered up a little bit late. You also didn't appear to have any factories, so something weird's going on here. Scan does kind of reveal what MarineKing is up to. You can see the timing of the factory. Not only that, but if he wants to, he can click on the gases and see exactly how long he's had them.
Yeah, that was a really good scan. He knows, in fact, that it's siege tank to siege mode. I mean, you're not going to see 2 Raxes and someone going blue flame off of one fact right there. So he knows exactly what's going on, and I like MarineKing, what he's doing here. That siege tank going to help out immensely, especially before these upgrades are done for TaeJa.
Yeah, this is a really good move out I like by MarineKing.
He has to be careful not to overcommit, but with the, I don't think he's going to. He's not going to like go be like, all right, you're going to die now.
He's just going to force the second bunker here. I don't like the choice to go up there. I'd like to go around the side because you go up into your opponent having a better concave.
You have to be careful, though. He does not want to lose anything here. Look at that siege upkeep. Oh, a nice volley on those Marines.
Yeah, he's actually doing a lot more here than I thought he would.
This is a nice little timing by MarineKing, doing a lot more damage than I think anyone thought he would. He does have his combat shields very quickly as well, whereas TaeJa instead opting for that quick stim, and that's going to help MarineKing a lot.
Yeah, it's going to help him a lot.
It's going to be 35 hit point Marines against 55 hit point Marines and a bunch of siege tanks.
It's going to help TaeJa break out, but with the second siege tank there, will he want to commit to stimming and breaking out against those siege tanks? That's a huge loss for him. He's going to have to pull SCVs as well, and MarineKing targets the bunker down. A big commitment here, knowing his opponent's stim is not done. I like this choice, and oh my god, is TaeJa just going to die?
Dude, I thought that this was a pressure build. I haven't seen an attack like this literally since the beta. This is so cool.
I think he saw blood in the water when he saw no combat shields. He's like, your stim's not done, I can hit you now, and he did it.
Absolutely, and those 2 siege tanks causing huge problems for TaeJa here.
This is almost checkmate, man. If he has control of the ramp with 2 siege tanks, what can TaeJa do to ever move out? He
has his own siege tank, and he is getting siege mode, so I think eventually he's going to be able to push him out without any real issue here, but he's already taken a lot of damage. Look at this, 80 supply to 64. TaeJa becoming supply blocked as he kills off that depot, and now MarineKing, well, he's gonna have to move back.
He's
siege
gonna have
mode's
to move
about
out
to finish
for sure, but he does have control of the ramp still, and that means that it's gonna be very uncomfortable to move out without medevacs.
Dude, look at this setup by MarineKing. I really like this. The triple siege tank that he's doing in the natural of TaeJa. We're not showing you right now, but it's like it's positioned in such a way that it's going to be insanely cost inefficient.
See, to come down the ramp is so difficult.
Yeah.
He's losing so much here. TaeJa.
This is a StarCraft 1 move we're watching right now, Wolf. Oh, this is beautiful.
Just controlling the ramp with siege tanks in this matchup. I mean, playing that command center was a terrible idea. I feel like TaeJa's falling apart, just getting nervous here. He's trying to slowly move out, but MarineKing is not. He's not cutting corners here with how he's containing him.
Yeah, this is such a solid contain. I mean, he's going to have to try to move forward. Notice that scan by MarineKing. What he's doing is checking for siege tanks moving forward. If a siege tank's moving forward to try to hit him because he has the sky advantage, the sight advantage, then that is... It's not going to end well for him.
Of course.
That's why he's scanning. If he catches the siege tank, he's going to get even further ahead. I mean, the game could end just based off that. Oh my god, see? There you go. He stims in, he sees where everything is, and his siege tanks can hit him. TaeJa is in so much trouble.
Yep, he's losing another siege tank now. He can't move out. He's stuck. I like what he's doing. He does have an SCV out, so he's going to make a third command center. It's really, really risky, but considering how behind he is, he needs to do look at this rescue mission.
That was like Black Hawk Down right there. He only saved 1 siege tank, though. And in the meantime, TaeJa did land the command center at the third base and drop some mules there. So his economy's catching up a little bit. MarineKing is taking his third in this time. And, the supply, about 30 ahead almost.
Yeah, MarineKing taking it hugely. Look at the gas. That's really important to note because he lost the mining at his natural. He just was able to get that gas up at the third base. TaeJa is so behind on gas. He has so many minerals he can't spend because that gas is his limiting factor here. And that's why you see about 1,000 minerals banked up for him. He just cannot spend them all.
Yeah, well, that's going to be rough, man, because MarineKing is staying really, really active out on the map with this Marine Siege Tank composition. And the one thing I say about Marine Siege Tank that I love is if you're ahead going Marine Siege Tank against Marine Siege Tank, it's pretty difficult to lose. You just have more.
Yeah, you just have more unless you completely screw up an engagement. MarineKing is going to commit here, and I don't know if this is a screw-up of an engagement, but oh yeah, it is now with how much he committed.
That was a big mistake from MarineKing, trying to attack uphill versus 4 siege tanks, and in fact, he will lose everything but 1 siege tank, and look at this. We now have TaeJa take the lead.
Yeah, this is exactly what I mean, unless you have a big screw-up.
Yeah, no, that was a big mistake, man. He was stimming and running up against 4 already siege tanks. If they're in the process of sieging, that's one thing. If they are sieged, you just have to run away. I mean, siege tanks are just too cost-efficient against these clumps of Marines.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he actually committed to that after seeing the tanks. Big mistake by him. And at this point, you know, TaeJa is still banking a lot of resources. He's starting to get that gas powered up, though, so he's going to actually have this surge of production suddenly where he can spend all of those minerals. And he's already ahead in supply right now. The one thing that MarineKing has going for him, though, that's important to note here is that he does have faster 2-2 started, which will be very important with both players going for this Marine tank composition.
That is right, but TaeJa has 3 more siege tanks, 6-3. Luckily for MarineKing, he has 8 medevacs against just the 1 with no energy of TaeJa, so that's going to be huge as well.
Yeah, his Marines have a lot more longevity to them.
But the siege tanks oftentimes are what changes it, and if MarineKing missteps in those siege tanks one more time, TaeJa might have what it takes to just roll them over.
Yeah, absolutely so. MarineKing now adding another factory, getting his +1 for his siege tanks. And, you know, he's got a slightly better Marine production, 9-6 here. So he's going to be able to build up that Marine count that's so important, especially for someone like MarineKing who's great at splitting his Marines. And with those better upgrades, I talked about it yesterday with Keldor, when you literally have 70 Marines out on the field, that's 70 units that have better upgrades than your opponent. If you're ahead in 2-2, that's such a big deal. With that many units, it makes a huge, huge difference.
It seriously does. And, I mean, we're going to see that come into play probably in a little bit. Now, TaeJa moving across the map, he did get his second fact a little bit quicker than MarineKing, but we don't see him really producing out of it yet, despite having, there we go, finally starting that up. And, oh, let's see how this goes. TaeJa with those siege tanks on the high ground.
Terrible engagement for MarineKing, I feel. He has way too many tanks up there to deal with. He's going to try to drop on top.
That's interesting. You know what? He was just trying to bait is what he was doing. He wanted those Marines to stem forward and try to kill the medevacs so his siege tanks could kill them off. TaeJa, too smart for him, though. Just going to sit there.
Yeah, very patient indeed. TaeJa going to go for a run by here. There's no defense for MarineKing. He's way out of position. He may even have to cancel this. I think he will.
That's actually a big move if he targets that, but instead TaeJa's going to go for SCVs, and I wouldn't mind him. Oh, he did cancel. All right,
yeah,
very
he cancels, and he's going to get some SCVs. And now going to go into the main. TaeJa just skipping everything here. When you get a lead like he has, it's really easy to run with it in this matchup. And oh my God,
TaeJa doing a great job here. MarineKing trying to sim forward and get something done, but so many siege tanks for TaeJa. MarineKing still with a lot of medevacs, though. He's going to have to really use his maneuverability to get back into this game against TaeJa, who just has been playing perfectly in these engagements.
I'd like to see MarineKing do a double medevac drop right now into the main base. I know there's a sensor tower there, but if he can get in there, or at least force his opponent to get off of his case for a minute, because TaeJa is just on top of him right now, making it so difficult to even breathe.
It truly is. Now we do have MarineKing moving towards the center. TaeJa as well. Just so much posturing going on this map. TaeJa and MarineKing both coming close to max, 183, 173 supply each.
Very similar productions as well, 13-12 Marines being produced. TaeJa still holding strong with a siege tank count, 10-5 and 60-53 Marines. MarineKing is going to have to work with less here.
And here he goes. He's going with that maneuverability because he does have so many medevacs and a ton of Marines out. But TaeJa very quickly sieging up into very powerful positions. And MarineKing's going to be hard pressed to actually get any damage done to TaeJa here.
He's going to commit to moving forward again, though. TaeJa sieged up first. Oh, a great move by MarineKing pulling back, and TaeJa couldn't commit now. I think this is really great for MarineKing. He's trading like he's needed to for the past few minutes.
But I have to point out, Wolf, that in fact he's losing a lot of siege tanks. TaeJa just traded a lot of Marines for siege tanks once again, and I oftentimes like moves like that. 4 siege tanks for MarineKing, 10 for TaeJa.
Very true. And this is a really good move for TaeJa. Now there's not enough buffer. He's getting so many siege tanks here. May even get some medevacs.
Dude, right now we have 2 siege tanks to 9. TaeJa has a great composition right now. It is 43 Marines and 4 siege tanks for MarineKing, 9 siege tanks and 66 Marines for TaeJa.
Yeah, the only thing that MarineKing has going for him, which is something you've stressed quite a bit, is his medevacs. Also, though, notice his 3-3 timing is way ahead of TaeJa, so that means he's going to have this 3-3 advantage over his opponent where he can work with less a little bit longer.
That is very right, and MarineKing out in the middle now. This engagement going a lot better for him than previous ones, taking out a siege tank, trying to take out some more, but there's a lot of siege tanks back here, and TaeJa not sieging up.
Not sieging up at all, and MarineKing getting a pretty decent trade there.
Yeah, that was totally fine for him. We do have 3-3 going for TaeJa finally, but +2 on siege tanks for MarineKing.
He's going to cut into the natural now, and I don't know. He's going to get trapped now.
He's got to be careful here. Yeah, that's a nice flank by TaeJa, moving back before those tanks get sieged, not losing too much.
MarineKing being so brave here, but I don't like it.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough, but they were keeping their supplies neck and neck right now. MarineKing and TaeJa both do have their fourth bases up as well. TaeJa a little bit more out of position to try to defend his. MarineKing is coming in a little bit closer each time.
Yeah, and he's coming in hot with 3-3 upgrades, +2 for his siege tanks, about to finish here as well. And those upgrade advantages may help him turn the tide here. But the siege tank count still, as you mentioned, very much better for TaeJa. TaeJa throwing some units here into these tanks.
Oh, MarineKing, it's going to come down in
yeah,
flame.
He's got 3-3 too, man. And this is a really great engagement for MarineKing.
It truly is. TaeJa in a little bit of trouble here, losing all his siege tanks in that battle. He's got to bring more down. They are on their way, and MarineKing breaks
what
through.
He needed. It's just what he needed, man. He's evened up the siege tank count. He still has that 3-3 advantage over his opponent, and he's pressuring his opponent's fourth. Great positioning here for MarineKing as well. Oh man, I'm so impressed by MarineKing here. TaeJa playing almost perfectly, but MarineKing doing everything he needs to get into this game.
This is absolutely amazing. This is just like Parting's second game, Wolf, where we saw, Parting got way behind and it looked like he would lose, but he just fought back, and a couple mistakes later gets in the lead. This is such a powerful position for MarineKing, but let's not forget, TaeJa does have more supply and is harassing the fourth base very well.
He's denying a lot of mining here. We do see that MarineKing's upgrades continue to come into play here, but TaeJa's are finishing up very soon.
Now, right now, we do have just such an even game, both on 8 siege tanks, both on very similar amounts of Marines, about 60 each, similar Vikings.
I don't know if I like this.
Oh, this is very dangerous.
Super risky, but he gets it.
He snaps that Planetary's neck, Wolf, and now TaeJa is down to 2 mining bases against 3 of MarineKing's.
Yeah, targeting down a Planetary with Marines is the riskiest move anyone can ever make, but when it pays off, it pays off. TaeJa continuing the harassment here at this very undefended Planetary of MarineKing.
Dude, I love what MarineKing's doing now. He's withdrawing. He's going to go up north. He's going to re-secure his additional expansion, that fourth base that's so important. And hopefully, I hope, take another one, maybe even float his main command center out. He's really got to get mining more, but no, actually, he's going to turn around and try to hit TaeJa once again.
Yeah, he's going to try to break through here. This is a terrible place to try to break through, though. Even so, he just has too much.
He has a lot of Marines, but siege tanks coming up, and those Marines going to be pulverized, and when they are gone, then the siege tanks of MarineKing are going to die as well. He's got to be careful. His medevac count, which is so high, could be chased by these Vikings.
Yeah, this is, TaeJa overextending himself a few ways here as well, though. Does end up working okay for MarineKing, but I don't find to attack up into that choke point with your opponent having siege tanks on the other side is so risky and so rash by MarineKing. TaeJa going to try to break out, though, in similar fashion here.
And it looks like he'll be able to. MarineKing with very few supporting units, some stemming down now, trying to help out. They do save a few of the siege tanks and medevacs, but MarineKing lost about 5 medevacs from that engagement, including a lot of siege tanks.
Yeah.
MarineKing's actually being too aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit too much. I feel like both of these players are kind of butting ram heads together or something with how they're fighting each other. MarineKing is going to try to force his way up here, but he does not have enough units. He's going to lose a lot, losing more medevacs as well. And even sending more Marines here to try and take out these Vikings loses some more of his important Marines. But the key here, though, Artosis, is that TaeJa is desperately trying to resecure that fourth base. He's lifted his main orbital there. He needs that base desperately. MarineKing has been mining for so much longer that even though they're both losing a lot of units, MarineKing can replace them a lot faster.
Exactly. He is being so aggressive, knowing that he's got the edge as long as TaeJa can't mine from a fourth base, and he is mining from fourth base. Oh my god, if he gets this orbital, that's going to be huge.
Full energy orbital as well, and he will get it with that Viking, I think.
It looks like the SCV's just barely going to save it. Oh my god, TaeJa. A stroke of luck right there. Now he's down 20 supply. This is getting pretty rough.
This game is such a nail-biter, but MarineKing so aggressive in this game, staying true to his style in a different way than I think we've seen him do in the past. It's great to see how he's developed as a player. You're watching him in Codes right now. It's amazing. TaeJa, though, has shown some great play. I feel like he made some critical mistakes when he was ahead, and MarineKing, this is a pretty big commitment by TaeJa.
Oh man, it is indeed, but he has to do it now. He's almost not mining at this point. His supply is plummeting.
It wasn't enough.
He sent 2 medevacs north, so those 2 medevacs are literally his last chance.
Yeah, that attack was not enough. If these medevacs don't do anything, MarineKing will win this game. There's no doubt about it at this point. He just has such a better economy. He even has better siege tank counts. The supply, 175 to 121. Look at how many mules TaeJa is dropping at that base. He's finally able to land it after a huge hiatus.
Well, it looks like he thinks TaeJa's out of position because he wants to go again. He decides not to. He's got to be very careful.
He knows he's ahead, and he doesn't want to lose that here. He's going to lose a command center, though. TaeJa catching this, a very nice, small victory for him here.
Trying to repair it does not work out, and he actually could be in trouble. These medevac's doing a lot of damage. He's killed a lot of SCVs at the 4th, and he's killing a lot at the 3rd as well. MarineKing taking a lot of damage there, actually.
Yeah, but here's the key. This base is even though he's got a pretty nice defense set up, it's very vulnerable to this huge type of Simon. MarineKing just has so many units. If he takes out these last siege tanks, I think it'll be checkmate. He's going to take out the Orbital as well. GG.
Wow, MarineKing. He got so far ahead in the beginning, and then he got so far behind, and then he got so far ahead again. Whoa.
Yeah, he did.
Wow, that was like he was so aggressive that it was like a sine curve. It went to too aggressive, then perfectly aggressive, then too aggressive again.
That's actually the best way to describe it. I love how you did that. That's awesome.
That's wow. TaeJa has to be in a little bit of shock to have lost that one after getting into a nice position, but I loved that game.
Yeah, me too. With how well TaeJa played in that game, I think he's going to feel comfortable playing against the STC now.
Yes.
With how toe-to-toe he went with MarineKing to now go into the losers match against the STC, he's going to feel comfortable. But I cannot wait to watch MarineKing against Parting, man, in this winners match. These guys have such a rivalry.
Yeah.
They have played against each other in so many important scenarios, and now they're doing it again.
The best TVPer in the world against the best PVTer in the world.
What happens when an unstoppable force hits an immovable object? That's what we're going to see.
Which one's the unstoppable force?
You know, I just don't know in this case. I feel like MarineKing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The movable object is definitely Parting.
Yeah.
Because MarineKing is the aggressive one earlier, and Parting kills you late
double
game.
Nexus, kills you late game. Definitely so. I'm actually so excited, man. These two first best of threes have been so awesome.
I feel like I should cut to commercial right now to make it quicker, but actually we have to wait on the Koreans anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
all right, well, I need to go get a drink. We're going to go to a commercial. We will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. MarineKing against Parting. The winner goes right to the round of 8.